It's that time. We are a day away from Thanksgiving, and that means we're in full throttle holiday mode, right? And there are a lot of things happening: dinners, parties, all the things. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't quite recall when November started, maybe 2020, somewhere around there. I don't know. But I have an idea. Why don't we get past November and just start saying no? Let's talk about it. Are you ready? Hello, hello. It is Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. Yes, this is HouJack DMS Live Learning. As you all know, we have now moved to an every other Wednesday for this, every other Wednesday. And this is the last segment in our time series, Reclaiming Your Time. This is our last segment. And I figured what better way to end it than to talk about just saying no. Now, before we get started, this is streaming to Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, you can like, share, and subscribe because we have some pretty good info here. Good info, great videos, all the things, all the things. So let me go back to that thing about time and just saying no. So I want to say it was 2020. A lot of things happened in 2020 for us, right? Like a lot of things happened in 2020, and we got into this place of reevaluating everything we've ever done, which is a good thing because some of the habits we had, some of our practices, they were old and archaic, and it was time for something new. So as I mentioned, we're going to close out this time series with It's Not November, it's just no. Just no. We're going to go ahead and do it because you got to think waiting until the end of the year to tell people that you really don't want to be around. No, well, that's entirely too long. It's too long. So we're going to talk about what's November. You know, sometimes the month gives us a hint, just a hint of what we should be doing, right? November. We're going to look at what are we saying no to? What are we saying no to? So this is really looking at the pattern set before you, right? I know what I saw as a kid and as a young adult in a workspace. I know what I saw. And you pick up other people's habits, whether they serve you or not, right? So if you are accustomed to saying yes to everything because you've always seen everybody else or you've been told just say yes, then, you know, it's kind of like, well, I've always said yes. So what are we saying no to? What are we saying no to? And then lastly, let's just reevaluate the time, shall we? It's time to look back and say, what are we saying yes to, right? What circles are serving us? Where do we feel safe and whole? Like, we're going to look at all of that. That's what we want to do in this conversation. So let's start with November. Like I was saying, I don't know. 2020 gave us a great time to reevaluate everything. And I know for myself, I reevaluated everything, every relationship, every reason why I was doing what I was doing because it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. You know, for years they told us, let's go ahead and make a little sidebar, real quick sidebar. For years they told us, you really can't work from home. It just can't be done. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny when it comes down to making it work and keeping the lights on and making some sales? All of a sudden, it works. We have found a way to make it work. How did that happen? How'd that happen? Okay. All right, Gwendolyn, get off that soapbox and putting it away. November. So we know it's a holiday season, and there are people who are stressed during the holiday season. I'm gonna say it again. Big general terms, our society likes to make us feel as if we have to do everything that everybody is doing. Oh my God. When you unplug from that matrix, feels really, really good, right? There has always been this thing of you gotta hug all your aunts and uncles. You gotta be around your family all the time, even the ones that annoy all of your soul. They are vexing people. You gotta be around your colleagues. You're right, like there's all these things you have to say yes to. You know, you should go out and spend money on things you don't really need with the money that you don't even have. Mhm, mhm. So yeah, November. We started saying, hey, you know what? You don't have to attend that family dinner with the loved ones that you love dearly, but who make you feel uncomfortable, who, you know, for whatever reason, don't know how to love you properly. And I would tell you right now, I have some loved ones. I love them. I love them myself. I don't think every family has it, but I'm sure there's a couple where they have some negative Nancy's that no matter what's going on, they are all there's always something that they have to say. Every single moment, nothing, right? You can have the most beautiful dinner, the most beautiful spread, but they didn't have this there. They didn't have that, and that was served. It happened to like that was a little like there's always something, right? Always something. Or you have the people who suck all the energy out of the room. Wait, pause. Let me go ahead and get into it because we get why we say no in November. What are we saying no to? And actually, what and who are we saying no to? Here's my second sidebar, really quick. Because if you look at some posts on social media, there's a group of people, and in my opinion, it's the mindset. Okay. This is just strictly my opinion as a career coach. It is the mindset. You'll find some persons who like to go into the you're not my friend because you didn't do XYZ, or I am now recognizing all the people who really aren't there for me, or when I make it big, don't come around now because you weren't there before, or when I needed you, you weren't there. It's a hard it's a hard mindset to really put into like a box. It's actually a couple of boxes. But I will say this, and if this shoe doesn't fit you, then don't worry about it. But when people talk about their friends and how they weren't there for them or how a family member didn't do XYZ for them, we got to stop and ask ourselves a couple of things. And so I'm going to talk about being honest with oneself, right? The self awareness. When we say no to certain people and places and spaces, there's a reason why we're saying no. I'm going to start with my biggest one, emotional vampires. And these are persons who come in and suck all of the energy and the life out of a room. They are your negative Nancy's. They are the folks who are always woe is me. And I'm not saying that there isn't a smidge of attitude or gratitude, but we just don't hear about it. We just don't even see it because everything is this is happening to me and oh, this is happening to me and I just can't believe it. I don't know why we're everything. They suck the energy out of you and everybody else that they come in contact with. We are saying no to that. We're saying no to it. You gotta think about this, and this will all tie together. Do we all have moments of needing someone to just hear us? Yes, we do. But you also have to recognize when the person you want to go to does not have the emotional capacity to pick up your drama. We all have a limit, right? This cup, it's not full right now, right? Because I'm taking from it, right? I'm taking from it. When you ask people to pick up your emotions and all of your baggage, even for 15 minutes, it still has weight. And if you are the person who is so consumed with what's going on in their life, his, her, or their life, you miss the fact that the person that you want to, I don't want to say dump onto, they don't have it for you right now. They don't have it for you right now. You miss it. They never see it. So we're saying no to those people. We are saying no to the emotional vampires. We are. We're saying no to it. And what's tied with that is that typically those relationships are not reciprocal. They are one-sided. One-sided. It is always take and take and take. There is hardly any giving. So the example of the persons who often speak about, don't come around me when things are great. You weren't there for me. I now know who doesn't love me because when I needed them, they weren't there. I'm going to call it right now. Some of that is BS, right? It's BS. Because there are places, there are moments when, as a family member, as a loved one, as a manager, as a colleague, you have got to let your person stand on their own 2 feet. Otherwise, you become an enabler. Okay? You become an enabler. Yeah. It's not that folks don't love you, don't want to support you. That's not it. That ain't it. There comes a point where you know what? You really do have to say no. You gotta say no sometimes. And it's not even a tough love thing. It's not even that. Because there is no tough love. Love is love. It's an action. You gotta say no. Plain and simple. But when I hear people go into the fact of no one ever helped me, I'm going to call BS on that too. I'll BS on it. Because you wouldn't be in this moment if somebody at some point hadn't helped you. As a matter of fact, you wouldn't even feel the way you feel at that moment if you weren't recalling all the times somebody has helped you. And in this one moment, they said no. Selfish. It is selfish. Right? It is selfish. So when your relationships are not reciprocal, yeah, you say no to that. Let me flip it real quick. Let me flip it. Flip. Your friendships, right? Your friendships, where there's the one friend who is always, again, taking and taking and taking. You call them, oh my God, it's so great to hear from you. And this is happening, and that's happening, and that's happening, and this is happening, and that's happening. And you're like, okay, and hello, you could ask how I'm doing. I mean, that would be just respectful, but. And when you attempt to share your great news, your joy, they're like, oh yeah, it's great. So, I was talking to someone the other day, and they were just saying that I didn't have, and I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I know you know what I'm talking about, because even I had a couple of those. Had as in past tense. We're saying no to relationships that are not reciprocal. It doesn't work when you're always giving and pouring into somebody else. And I'm going to go back to it. These cups, they get empty. Isn't it great when you're at a workplace and all of the colleagues pitch in? Everybody picks up the weight. Everybody brings their 110, their A plus game. Isn't it great? Think about when you were in school and did a group project, or you may have a career that has you doing group projects. And there's that one person who just doesn't bring it. And you have to cover for them again. Because that's not the way that you ride. Like, that's your reputation right there. You don't ride like that. Not reciprocal. We're saying no to those things. That I always remember your birthday. And I always send cards. And I always send flowers. It's not reciprocal. I'm always helping you with your projects. I'm always giving you ideas on how to build your business. I'm always going to your events. I'm always supporting your ventures. Not reciprocal. We're saying no to that. We're saying no. Now, asterisk, there are some people who enjoy being the person who solves everybody's problems. I'm not, do whatever your heart desires, okay? My thing is very simple. November should be November. It should just be no. It should just be no. Right? Stop pretending that you want to go someplace. I saw some memes the other day that discussed, oh, you should have told me earlier. No, just say no. Say no, I don't want to go. I'm not interested. It's not my jam. It's not my vibe. I don't want to be there. It's fine. So can we do our last sidebar, right? Real quick. The last sidebar. Because clear, concise, compassionate, caring communication is possible. There is a way to tell your loved ones, your associates, your colleagues, your friends, and some stranger off the street. There is a way to tell them no graciously. There isn't a need to pretend that you're interested, to even give the hint that you were going to attend. That is wasting somebody else's time. It is getting someone's hopes up, looking for you in the crowd, and you're not there. Think about the little kid, the kindergartner, the first grader, the second grader, who has the program and they're walking into the auditorium or the cafeteria and they're scanning the crowds, looking for their loved ones. And when they spot you, we are still that kid. We still want someone in the crowd rooting us on. We still want someone to attend our party. Be the first guest. Be the first person on the dance floor. Whatever it is, we still want that. So if you are not even remotely interested, just say that. Just say it. Our relationships need to be more honest and upfront and loving. They need to be. If you don't want to go, say, you know what? I don't want to go. It's not what I do. Thank you for the invite. I'm going to graciously decline. And you don't have to give an excuse. Well, I'm sleepy or blah, blah, blah. If you want to say, hey, I'm actually out of town, that's fine. You can, but you don't even have to do all of that. No is a complete sentence. No. Just say it. Just say it. It's okay. So now that we're off that sidebar, we are reevaluating our time. Let me tell you about my past life and holiday parties. I recall as a younger person, I attended every holiday party. Felt like I had to. Now, I gotta say, the people I worked with, I really did enjoy them. So, there is that. But there was also that moment of, I don't really feel like going to this party. And I am an introvert, okay? So I'm an introvert, and over the years, I have a nature of looking like an extrovert. It's not an act. I really do like talking to people. I do like talking, believe it or not. It's not an act. But when I'm done, I'm done. And then there are certain groups I have no desire to be a part of. So at a certain point in my career, I know I became a manager and all that whatnot. And there was never anyone who said I had to attend the holiday party, but I kind of felt like I gotta attend it. And then I said, I don't want to attend these parties. I don't want to be at another party with another person to do something I just don't want to do. It's a waste of my time, a waste of my gas. I just don't want to do it. That's why I said no. And they're like, you're not going? I ain't going. Now, I know there are some people out there saying, if you don't do the holiday party, how do you do your hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders and elbows? And how do you ask yourself this? Why must I do all that to just get ahead? Perhaps I'm at the wrong place for my career. Why not be with people who appreciate my talents and that I don't have to like put on this show for? Why not just do that? Right? But no, I didn't go. There may have been, when I started saying no, another one or two that I attended. Yeah. Now there are other events that I really, really like. We had other traditions that I was all in for. Their employee first. I was like, this is a tradition. We got to do this. And I would lead the charge on those. But like holiday parties? No. The whole ugly sweater thing? First of all, they're novelty sweaters, okay? Those of us who have studied fashion understand they are novelty sweaters. And then somebody somewhere said, my God, those are ugly and we should make and now they purposely make them ugly. It's not the same thing. It's just not. But I would never, ever waste my money on that, let alone be seen in it. That is a no. No, it's not what I do. And you get to a place of, I am not going to put myself in another circle, in another room with people that I like, but I don't want to spend time with outside of the work hours. No, just don't want to do it. Like for what? And that's where we are today. There are family members that you don't want to eat dinner with. Then don't. Don't eat dinner with them. You can love them from afar. It is doable. There are colleagues that you don't even want to break bread with, let alone do happy hour. Then don't. You don't have to put yourself in spaces that don't serve you. You don't have to. You don't have to. You really don't. Again, there are going to be people like, well, if you want to move ahead, you got to start shaking hands and maybe it's time for a career change. I don't know. But if I have to jump through hoops and play a game, and trust me, I have heard you got to play the game. I would be a liar if I said that at some point I didn't play the game. And then you start reevaluating things. Why am I doing all of this for what? For what? Yeah. If it doesn't serve you, say no. Let it ride. And that is for November, December, and all the other months. Every single one. You don't want to go out for New Year's, then don't go out. If you don't want to have chitterlings in your house because they smell, then don't. Right? It's about you and your time. Doing what serves you. Investing in relationships that serve you. Investing in the time and activities that serve you. The world will keep turning. Trust. It's still here. Right? Saying no is not going to hurt anybody. But there is a way to say no graciously. Thank you for the invite. I am choosing not to attend. There it is. Or maybe say, you know what? I'm really not one for Halloween parties. So you could just stop inviting me. Right? I just say thank you. I mean, like, thank you, but I'm not interested. I'm not going. Even when I share some of my events, right? You just share them. People show up, people don't. It's okay. World keeps turning. It's okay. But consider this. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, or if someone says no to you, think about all of the folks who have said yes. Those are your people. Those are your folks. Find more people like that. Find more spaces like that. You'll live a happier life. Because I'm finding my people. We are finding our people. And it is a beautiful thing, I tell you, a beautiful thing. So to wrap this up, we have talked about what's November. Yeah, we're going to get past that. What are we saying no to? What and who are we saying no to? And then, you know what? Reevaluate your time. Figure out what's best for you, right? Like, if it's not serving you, cut it out. Don't put yourself through chaos for, well, whatever it's for. So we want to thank everybody for jumping in really quick. We appreciate you guys showing up for this quick, as I like to say, a little lunch, a little learn. This ends our time series. We are ending it. We'll bring it back again. We'll bring it back. But the idea is to just, do more for you. And time management in all the areas, business, career, personal, it all matters. It all matters, right? Instead of wasting time over here with Sally Sue, who makes, I don't do potlucks. Did I say that? I don't do potlucks either. Okay, Gwendolyn, cut it out. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe. If you're traveling on the road, take your time. We just want to get there safely and get back safely and spend time with our family. Okay? But happy Thanksgiving.